design, French Romanesque, would sweep the country later in the 1800s. Architects would borrow this design style, not so much for churches, but for municipal commissions, libraries, schools, colleges, and things of that nature. The architect of the building, Henry Hobson Richardson, would go on to become one of the all-time world-famous architects. We continue on our merry way. Anybody watch the television series Boston Legal? Does that ring a bell? Yeah, recognize the building on your right? Yeah, it's the Boston Legal building. Sure, it's in every episode. It's Denny Crane. Hey, Denny, how you doing? Of course, Hollywood has had a field day in this city for years. Television series after series. Boston Legal, Boston Public, Boston Common. Of course, Cheers, long-running episode or series. And you probably don't even remember this one. You got to really think back on it. Although it was a long-running series, it was tremendously popular. Anybody remember Spencer for Hire? Do you remember that one? Yeah, that was with Robert Urich. This intersection featured prominently in that series. These days, feature films, lots of them, 6 of them, shot on location last year. We got 4 in the can this year. Keep your eyes peeled for one of them. It's called What's Your Number? Film crew was in town in the very area that we're exploring this evening for 2 solid months doing location work. What's Your Number? Watch for it. On your left is the Arlington Street Church, dates to 1858. And also coming up on your left is the oldest botanical garden in the country. This would be Boston Public Garden, 1837. Four Seasons Hotel on your right, 5-star hotel. And this gets us on down to Charles Street. It was King Charles I who expanded the British colonial empire to include Massachusetts Bay Colony. City settled in 1630 by Puritans, the religious group who came to the New World seeking religious freedom. Since there was not a great supply of British military in 1630, Charlie took what he thought was a fairly efficient route to establishing the colony and the capital by making the Puritans the law and order on behalf of the British Crown. The theocracy would rule for 50 years. Very intolerant bunch. You simply wanted to live in the city, you had to join the Puritan Church. If you refused, you'd very likely find yourself dangling from the old elm tree on Boston Common. That's on your right. And so it would go. 1630 until 1680, Puritans would actually enjoy their lot in life. It was their way or no way, and no other religious groups were allowed in the city. 1680s rolled in, Puritans were relieved of their colonial duties, British military took over. We're going to head over to Beacon Hill. We'll scoot up over the top of Beacon Hill and down through Government Center on our way to the Charles River. As we take a right-hand turn at this point, we're heading up a Beacon Hill neighborhood that you see in front of us to our right, built for the most part between 1800 and around late 18 teens at the top of the hill. The houses that you're looking at, and will be looking at, were built by the wealthiest of Boston's aristocracy.
You can
the people with the power and the money.
Yes. My friend is
early 1800s.
Almost.
Who lives on Beacon Hill today, you ask?
My teacher.
Well, people with the power and the money. Not much has changed. Among them, Senator John Kerry, United States Senator from the state of Massachusetts, and his wife, Teresa Heinz Kerry. She's the Heinz Ketchup fortune heiress, if you don't mind. So there's a very wealthy, very powerful couple living here on Beacon Hill. Another question that comes up pretty routinely, how about real estate values? What are these places worth? Well, I can tell you one of these houses right along here sold 18 months ago. It set a real estate sales record, $12.5 million. People who bought the building have absolutely forbidden the tour companies to identify it. They say it's a security issue, so I cannot tell you which one it is. I wish I could, I can't. You could beg me, I wouldn't tell you which one it is. If I owned it, I wouldn't paint the first floor white, I'll tell you that much. Very tacky. Number 36. But I can't tell you which one it is, because I get in a lot of trouble if I did that. I can't imagine somebody telling a duck driver not to do something. I mean, what are they thinking? You know, it's a duck driver.
Whichever place it might have been.
Actually, I don't know what the square feet is, but if you look back at number 36, you can see it's quite a tall building as well. They're not huge. Let's put it that way. If you were to go toward the center of the hill area, you'll find quite a few freestanding mansions, and those would be anywhere from the 20-room to the 40-room category. Beacon Hill. And coming up on your left, brick building with the gold dome. Dates back to 1798. What is it? Massachusetts State House. This was designed by Charles Bulfinch, the first person in the country to be called an architect. Charlie knew that Bostonians wanted a city that looked terribly European. What did he do? He copied this design from a building in London called Somerset House. So here's the building that started the 100-year trend among Boston architects to copy European buildings, our State House. On your left, the statue is Mary Dyer, Quaker. She was hanged on Boston Common in 1660 by the Puritans. What did she do? She refused to join the Puritan Church. She was a Quaker. She wanted to remain a Quaker. Not possible. Had to join the church, get out of town, or else. And Mary Dyer got the video. On your left, the new Firefighters Memorial, 18 months now, since it was erected,
to upload
reminding us that many Massachusetts firefighters